Okay, so last week we introduced the system of energy healing, golden energy healing, and we just introduced the concept to you, and nothing was yet uploaded on YouTube or uploaded to Classroom yet, so I was just explaining the system to you. I went through the PDF document with all the different, the course contents, PDF document with the different lessons set out there, and we went through each lesson in turn. And we had a good chat and discussion about the whole thing, really. And so this lesson, it's still a golden energy healing, and we're going to go into it in more detail. We'll go over the lessons again, just to solidify it a little bit, but this time we'll actually have a focus on the assignments that are part of the course. So we talked last week about how this golden energy healing system is going to be, in terms of the fast track, it's going to be a whole year of practical, you could say, a whole year of assignments, practical assignments, because that's how you learn golden energy healing. It's through doing, really. And of course, we can't teach it over a video call, can we? You have to go away and practice these exercises. It's a very hands-on, practical thing. So it's the whole of the second year, which is dedicated for the practical assignments. Now, that's alongside the whole healing partners under supervision thing. This is a separate set of assignments, and it's something that you can just do in your own time. Now, we've set out the list of assignments, and we've set out the requirements for the course, and we've created a little logbook, or it's a spreadsheet, which I'll take you through today. So we'll take you through each little practical exercise, and we'll talk about the frequency that it needs to be done, and I'll show you the little spreadsheet logbook that you'll need to fill out. So that's going to be today. We'll go through that. We'll go through each lesson, the assignments, the logbook, and a bit on Classroom, and then we'll see how long that takes. And if we can, we'll do some self-healing exercises afterwards as well. Do some chakra breathing if we can, and a guided meditation if there's enough time. But we'll see how long this takes first. Okay. Any questions or comments before I start? So I'm going to share my entire screen with you so that I can jump back and forth between different documents. So hopefully you guys can see that screen. And this is the document that we showed you last week. So I'm going to first run through the exercises quickly just to remind you, not in great detail because we'll go back over them, but let me just remind you. Now this PDF document is now in Classroom, so you can download it and use it as you wish. And this has got the links now. So those little blue links there, that's an actual link to the YouTube video. So all you have to do is have that document handy, click on the link, and that should open the YouTube video for that particular lesson. You can do it like that, or you can just go to the AYA YouTube channel. It's completely up to you. Okay, so just to remind you, now I will zoom in a little bit. So we have 3 sections to the course. Section 1. Okay, so section 1 is general. Section 2 is self energy healing, and section 3 is energy healing for others. And then there's a disclaimer in there, and then afterwards there's some information on AYA and silent revolution. Okay. So there's an introductory section. We've been through this. I'm not going to read this out again. So the actual video lessons. So these are all uploaded now on YouTube, and you can go and watch them in your. So lesson 1 is introduction, just talking about what the course is, what it is, all the legal boundaries, what it gives people, what it doesn't give people. Because don't forget, this is a course for the general public as well. So it's fulfilling 2 roles here, one in fast track and one in for the general public. So the way it's written, you'll find is, and the way I've presented it in the YouTube videos, you'll find that it's it's talking to the general public. It's talking to people that have no prior experience with healing. So it's right from the beginning, basically. So that's the introduction lesson. Lesson 2, golden energy healing. That's just explaining the whole concept of golden energy, basically. What golden energy is, the magnetic fields, chi, prana, that sort of thing. And lesson 3 is preparing yourself. So how do you prepare yourself before a healing session, whether it's on you or whether it's on somebody else, preparing yourself in the short term and also long-term preparation, what a healer should be doing in terms of self-work to prepare themselves. Lesson 4 is the bioenergy layers. That's an introduction to the whole bioenergy layer. Lesson 5 is making healing energy. So this is all about how energy is programmed by the mind. And we talk about intention and non-intention in that lesson, because it's very important. This course, Golden Energy Healing, is mostly about intention healing. So let's not forget that. It's about hands healing mostly, and it's about intention healing mostly, but we do introduce the concept of non-intention healing, so people are aware of it, that non-intention healing can happen from their own higher mind. And then lesson 6, the 9th chakra. And this is about the source of golden energy. Where does golden energy come from? Is it coming through our chakra, all our chakras as we breathe, or is it coming from your 9th chakra? So just explain a little bit about that so there's no misinterpretations. Section 2, self-energy healing. So this is just using energy healing on yourself and practicing on yourself. So this is where we start the practical exercises, really. So lesson 7, kinesthetic energy sensitivity. I'm going to go back over these in a minute and show you the list of exercises, don't worry. So kinesthetic energy sensitivity, that is activating your energy senses that you feel in the body. Lesson 8, visual energy sensitivity. So that's activating your ability to see energy, and talking about the 2 main ways of doing that. And then lesson 9 is energy work. That is working on your energy body and creating flow within your energy body. So moving energy around the body at will, unblocking lots of blockages to allow that flow to happen. Lesson 10, moving energy with the breath. This is when we start combining the breath with moving energy. So this is pranayama yoga, really, the yogic science of energy breath. The link between the breath and the movement of energy in the body. Lesson 11, programming healing energy. This is where we teach how to actually program it with the intention method. So visualizations and mantras. So we go through a whole example of how to actually do that. And then lesson 12, unblocking chakras. One of the most important things that anybody can do, especially as a healer, is to unblock your own chakras, because that blockages restrict flow around the energy body. And a healer needs flow, energy flow, and a healer needs for their own energy to get out of their chakras. So it's part of self-work. Anyone got any questions? Lesson 13, golden energy self-healing, part 1. So this is the full self-energy healing exercise, which combines all the bits and pieces that we've just been talking about in the previous lessons. And it puts it together in a self-healing exercise. And there's 2 examples of that, 13 and 14. 13 is quite an easy, I think we use a sprained ankle for that one. And then 14 is a more serious condition like cancer. So 13 and 14 are both examples of that golden energy self-healing. And then lesson 15 is pain reduction. So we teach a few different methods of pain reduction using energy healing and meditation as well. So then moving on to energy healing for others, section 3. So lesson 16 is methods of delivery. So the 3 different methods, we go through them: the hands healing, the proximity healing, and the distance healing. Although this course is mainly 80% based around the hands healing method. Lesson 17, the aura. So we go through the aura. We explain how to feel the aura. There's quite a few practical exercises to practice with feeling somebody's aura, the inner aura we're talking about there, and any certain uses of being able to feel the aura. Lesson 18 is the energy body. So we do the same thing. we look at the energy body as a whole, and we give a few techniques and practical exercises and a few examples of a golden energy refresh. We'll go through that in a minute, don't worry. And lesson 19, the chakra system. So this is where we talk more about the chakras. We've talked about the 7 chakras already in the previous lesson. So we increase it to the 9 chakra system, and even go further and talk about hand chakras, spleen chakras, reproductive chakras. And then we teach a method of unblocking chakras. And then lesson 20, the meridian system. So we talk more about the meridian system, and then we give an example of an exercise of how to clear people's meridian systems. Lesson 21 is healing the material body. So there we actually look at sending energy healing to somebody's material body, because so far we've just been talking about the energy body, the chakras, the meridians. Well, now we we go through a whole energy healing session and explain how to actually send energy healing into the material body to go and help with a medical problem. And I think we use asthma for that one. Okay, and 22, emotional energy healing. This is actually a very important one, and as I say there, it's often overlooked. We use the emotion of love, or unconditional love, and teach how to transfer it to somebody else. Teach how to generate it within oneself and then transfer it to somebody else. And that's a very important one because of the last lesson. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Okay, lesson 23, self-protection. So we have to talk about the whole idea of self-protection. So we talk about how people can be, or healers can be, depleted of golden energy, the different ways that can happen, and also taking on negative emotions from their recipients. So we talk about how to stop all that happening, basically. There's a couple of different exercises in there. And then lesson 24. Now, last week, we told you that lesson 24 was going to be how to integrate golden energy healing into other therapies. We've hit a bit of a snag with that concept. So it's not that anymore. It's the silent revolution now, which is what it's supposed to be, I think. And the reason is, so the snag is that there was a contradiction there. We were telling people that it's not qualification. We were telling people, now this is for the general public here, not for the fast track. So we were telling the general public that this is not a qualification, and it doesn't allow you to use golden energy healing as a clinical therapy. We were saying it's only for friends and family. But then the last lesson was going to tell them how to integrate it into a clinical practice. So that's just not going to work. So I still believe that at some point we can make that happen, but it's not going to be in this course for the general public. So we can't put that in there. It's just a clear contradiction. So we've had to change that. And so now the last lesson, lesson 24, is called the Silent Revolution. And this makes a lot more sense, actually, because we've got our self-healing course, the Aya Healing Pyramid, and the last lesson of that is called the Silent Revolution. How self-healing can be applied on a collective level, and the possibilities of it spreading like a chain reaction and changing the fabric of society. So the last lesson of this is also the Silent Revolution, and it's basically how golden energy healing can have the same effect. So we explain the concept of the Silent Revolution, we explain the concept of self-healing, point people towards the Aya Healing Pyramid, but also how golden energy itself can help with that process of self-healing, and how you can help other people in their self-healing journey by giving them golden energy healing, basically. So it can still spread like a chain reaction, because of the transfer of an unconditional love. So we go into this in detail, that one way you can help spread the silent revolution is by sending other people unconditional love. So it links back in with the emotional energy healing lesson, and it also links back in with the ninth chakra lesson, because we teach this exercise of bringing unconditional love down from the ninth chakra and generating it within yourself. So in lesson 24, we explain how the more that people can do that, the more it's going to increase the chances of the silent revolution. So I can keep going back to that document to remind you, but also I want to show you this document here. So this is actually the logbook, really. So I'll zoom back in a minute, don't worry. So basically, it's just a Google Sheets spreadsheet. And this has got the list of the exercises in it. And there's quite a few exercises in there. There's 27 exercises in there. There's actually more in the lessons, but these are the 27 we want to make part of the fast track. Now, eventually, for the general public course, we'll probably make these into assignments for them as well. And on the YouTube channel, you can actually run a course on there. So we'll probably run a course for the general public on there and put assignments in there and quizzes and things like that, eventually though. But for now, this one is for the fast track, this spreadsheet. So I've put, golden energy healing, practical exercises, assignments, and then we've got the different sections down here, and we've got the exercises down here. Now I've also put in a tab for the lesson number. Let me start zooming in a little bit. I don't know if you can actually read that yet or not. Maybe that one. So you've got the exercise in this column here. I'll go through them individually, don't worry. And then you've got lesson number. So this is the lesson that they actually crop up in. And then we've got minimum sessions or applications required for the whole of the second year. So this is over the course of a year. So we've put in some requirements there. Now, bear in mind, this is the first time we're running this. So it is going to be a little bit of a learn as we go type exercise. So we definitely welcome feedback on how this actually works, how achievable it is, or if it's too easy or whatever it is. And there's a place for your notes here if you want as well. The last column there is student notes. And there's a little column called completion there. So once you've completed it, you can write completed in there. Right, so that's one tab. Now, if you look at the bottom of the spreadsheet, there are two tabs here. One is called exercises, and then the second one is called logbook. So the logbook looks like that. And this is highly customizable. So we've just given you this as an example, and you can change it as you want, basically. You can do whatever you want with this. So when you open it on Classroom, it is supposed to open a different file for every student, which means that you will have your own spreadsheet on Google Classroom. And so you can actually do whatever you want with it. So here it's just got the exercises, and then I've put a big spreadsheet in here that you can actually populate with whatever you want. I've started off with week 1, 2, 3, and there's 52 weeks in there. If you want to use the week numbers, or if you want to use the dates, then you can change that and use the dates. For example, if you wanted to start in June, you could put in the dates of June, and then it'll be June to June, for example. Technically speaking, this is actually September to September though, because if you think about it, the first year of the course for the theory started in September. So it's going to finish in September. You know, our lessons finish in July, then we've got a bit of a summer holiday, but although we'll have to use it for as a preparation for Healing Hubs. But really, the first year finishes at the end of August, you could say. So the second year runs from September to September as well. So this is why the completion date for this actual assignment is September the 1st, 2027. And the completion date is in there, in the assignment, it's written in there. So we'll come back to that once we've gone through the exercises. So section 1, general. So in lesson 2, so let me just go back to this document here. So there isn't any assignment or exercise for the introduction lesson. So lesson 2 is golden energy healing. So this is when we're explaining the whole concept of golden energy healing. So seeing golden energy, that's in lesson 2. You can see there, seeing golden energy. That's a very simple exercise of actually just looking on a black background and trying to focus on the space in between your eyes and the black background, and trying to make out the fuzzy golden haze, which you can actually see. You can actually see that golden energy which is everywhere. It's just like a little hazy golden sort of fuzziness in the air, basically. I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea because I don't wear glasses, so you'll have to tell me. Yeah, try it both ways. Yeah, put it in the notes. Excellent. Yeah, so that we know for the future. Excellent. Okay, the next one down is golden energy yogic breathing, and that is in lesson 3. So lesson 3 is preparing yourself. And the reason is because golden energy yogic breathing is our principal preparation method for any healing session, because it charges you up with golden energy. And you also do it after the healing session. So the golden energy yogic breathing, which most of you are proficient in already, obviously, but that is one of the exercises for this course that has to be done. And, we put once a week here because it is a good idea, even if healers have been doing it for years, it's a good idea to keep it up because it's something that you've got to constantly teach to others, basically. So it is a good idea to keep it up, and, once a week is not that often. So that's probably a good thing to make part of your routine anyway. Okay, next one, universal light. So universal light is in lesson 6. So let's have a quick look. Lesson 6 is the 9th chakra. So the universal light exercise is an exercise where we are trying to activate the 9th chakra. So we make it very clear in the instructions that the 9th chakra grows in the Kundalini system over time. And people are all sorts of different stages of that growth. But doing this universal light exercise is not going to harm anybody if they haven't got a 9th chakra yet. In fact, it's going to do them good because it's going to start to activate. It might start activating the growth. Any attention you can give your higher mind or the 9th chakra is going to increase the possibility of either the higher mind becoming awake or aware of its own reincarnation, or if that higher mind has already started growing the Kundalini system and the 9th chakra is half grown, it's going to increase its growth rate. And if there is a 9th chakra there in place, then it's going to start activating it, and it's going to be able to start sending golden energy through the 9th chakra and possibly unconditional love. So we teach that exercise, and we've set that at once per week for 2 months. Put there in the notes there for 2 months. Once a week for 2 months is probably enough, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's a buzzword. I would say that lots of people know that there's a chakra up there, which is the source of the universe. That's very common knowledge. I wouldn't say it's a buzzword, though. But the reason why I've put a whole lesson on it is because there's such a big misunderstanding about it in energy healing circles. And the reason is because so many energy healing practices assume that is open, and they assume that then they are just a channel for energy from the source, and therefore if they've visualized that, then they're not going to get depleted. And and if that is not open, then they are going to get depleted because it's coming from their energy body. And so it's a misunderstanding which can lead to some problems, perhaps. So it's an important thing to make a point of it. Okay, so moving on then. Section 2, self-energy healing. So feeling the aura between your hands. And by the way, can everybody read that writing there? Is that big enough for people to read on the screen? Yeah. Feeling the aura between your hands. Lesson 7. Let's have a look at lesson 7. Kinesthetic energy sensitivity. Excellent. So feeling the aura between your hands. So this is another useful application of the aura, because the aura emanates from us and you can feel it. And so it's one of the first places, or one of the easiest places to start when you're increasing your energy sensitivity. So it's all about doing this, isn't it? Most of you guys know about this, and because you've done other healing courses and stuff, trying to feel the edge of the inner aura, trying to feel the cushion impact, the feeling in your palms as you're feeling the aura, trying to find where the edge of the inner aura is, practicing those energy senses. And that is until achieved, basically, because it's a very simple exercise. And once you start feeling it, then you use that exercise in the other exercises. So you take that on to the other exercises. It's just energy sensitive. Next one is, and the next four are all in that lesson 7. Look. The next one is golden energy balls in your fingers. So this is about creating little golden energy balls, visualizing them and moving them up and down your fingers. This increases the sensitivity in your hands. So you have to actually create that energy ball, place it in your knuckle, start moving it up your finger and then back down again, tracing it with your kinesthetic feeling in the finger, and keep going up and down. This is removing blockages in all the circulation systems of the lower mind and the energy body, and it's allowing flow, and it's increasing energy sensitivity. So you do that for all your fingers and thumbs, and you do that until high sensitivity is achieved, which I've misspelled, I think. Anyway, next one, still lesson 7, pointy finger. So the pointy finger is when you take your finger and you take your palm and you're activating your palm, the sensors in your palm. So you take your finger and you point it towards your palm and you start moving it around in circles, and you try and feel the aura which is coming off the end of your finger, because you do have these little spikes of the aura that comes off the edges of your finger, and you can actually feel that on your palm as you move it around. You can do it with your eyes closed, and it's still there. You can still feel it on your palm. So you're increasing the sensitivity, and you're also sort of activating your hand chakras there as well. So again, you repeat that until high sensitivity is achieved. Feeling the edge of your aura is the next one. So this is where you're actually feeling the edge of your own inner aura. You can do it on your body, you can do it on your legs, you can do it on your arms. So that's taking your energy sensitivity and moving it up a notch and feeling the edge of your own aura. And then you can do the same thing for the energy body. So feeling the edge of your energy body. And that's always the same, that is, because the inner aura can change depending on who you are. It can be out here or it can be here. It depends on what's going on in the material body, because it's being generated by the material body. The energy body, however, is standard. That's set, because it's anatomy, that is. And it's always about that 10 centimeters outside the material body. And if you set your intention, you can actually feel the edge of that as well. Next one is seeing the aura around your hands. So this is the exercise where you're trying to actually activate your visual senses around your hand. So that's just practicing. And then the next is the second. So I should have said that's lesson 8 there. So we're on to lesson 8, which is visual energy sensitivity. And there's a few in lesson 8, because there's the seeing the aura around your hands, and there's also helping to open the brow chakra to increase intuitive vision, which is very useful. But when we're teaching that, we always have to be very careful to make sure people do work on all their chakras equally, so they don't get any imbalances. So we mentioned that plenty in the video lessons, but we do give them the chakra breathing method on the brow chakra, and also meditating on a purple dot also helps activate the brow chakra. So moving on to lesson 9, which is energy work. So I should have said, for the brow chakra and the meditating on the purple dot, we've put in there 5 times 10-minute sessions. And that's enough probably for you to get the hang of it, to understand what the exercise is like, and to also activate it as well. But bearing in mind for you guys that activating it doesn't apply, because you guys are going through self-realization, your brow chakra has been open for a long time, so it's not going to be closed. So really, some of these exercises, you've got to bear in mind for the fast track course, some of these exercises are just for the point of you learning the exercise so that you are able then to teach it to others if you need to. Okay, next is lesson 9, which was energy work. So we're on energy orbs all around the body. Now this is the one where we actually can spend a bit of time on this. So we've got 60 times 10-minute sessions. And don't forget, this is over the course of a year, remember. So energy orbs around the body. This is actually it's a version of the golden energy balls that are going up and down the fingers, but actually doing it for your whole body with different sizes of energy balls or energy orbs. And this actually can help fast track students, because fast track students will probably always be going through Kundalini awakening and self-realization. But after the Kundalini phase, as we know, after the Kundalini phase, it takes 6 months to a year for negative energy blockages to actually completely get removed from the energy body. So this would be very useful for fast track students. I'm saying fast track students in general, not necessarily you guys, because you guys are all in lots of different stages of development through self-realization, but I'm trying to think as a standard for the course. So for fast track students, it will be useful to do the energy orbs exercise and the whole body golden energy waves, which is the next one. Those two there will be very useful to do them repetitively, which is why we've put 60 10-minute sessions for the energy orbs around the body and 30 10-minute sessions for the whole body golden energy waves, which has to be done after the previous one, after the whole body golden energy waves is like an evolution or an advanced version of the energy orbs. Hope this is all making sense. Has anyone got any questions or comments? Okay, so the next one, we're on to lesson 10. So lesson 10 is moving energy with the breath. Right, so that one is just one exercise using the breath to move energy in the body, basically. And we've put here 3 times 10-minute sessions. And the reason is that's quite low, because it's really just to get a hang of moving the energy with the breath. And then that's going to be used in the exercise that's coming up, basically. So it's just building up to the next exercises, really. So the next one is chakra breathing, lesson 12. So lesson 12, let's have a quick look. Unblocking chakras. So of course, chakra breathing, that's what we're going to teach. So most of you are very proficient with chakra breathing already, and you've been doing it for years. Some of you maybe less. So either way, we still think that we should, network healers should practice chakra breathing once every 2 weeks. Now, as you go through self-realization, your chakras do change, of course. You don't have any blockages anymore. So if we get to do any today or soon, whenever we're going to do some chakra breathing, you guys haven't got any blockages. Some of you may have some residual blockages still coming out. But generally speaking, once you go past the Kundalini phase, blockages tend to be a thing of the past. So after that, it's just, with chakra breathing, it's just a case of keeping it up. And doing it every now and then so that you're able to teach it. I've found a great deal of benefit from, and I do it every time I teach it, basically. So I keep it up while I'm teaching it, and I notice, when I'm actually doing it with the students, I notice the changes in myself, and I it reminds me how to do it. And so it makes you a better teacher if you do keep these things up. Okay, next one is Golden Energy Self-Healing, lesson 13. So lesson 13 and 14 are those 2 lessons where we teach Golden Energy Self-Healing exercise. So that's just one exercise, and that is 30 times 10-minute sessions. Perhaps even more than that, if you find it beneficial for yourself. And that exercise sort of builds on everything that's been learned so far. Energy sensitivity, golden energy, programming golden energy, knowing how to move it around your body, your newfound flow of energy, moving it with the breath, using a visualization as a programming method, moving it somewhere in the body to complete a healing job. That's golden energy self-healing. And then 3 methods of pain reduction, because lesson 15 is pain reduction. So we've got the pain reduction using the golden energy self-healing method. So it's an adaptation of the golden energy self-healing method for pain. We've got a thalamus method of sending energy to the thalamus in the brain to squeeze the thalamus and stop those pain signals getting through. We talked about this last week, didn't we? Stop those pain signals coming through from the body into the brain. And then we've got pain management using meditation techniques. All right, that's section 2, self-energy healing. Probably a good time to have a little break. But got any questions before we do that? Yeah, should we crack on? Okay. Right then, so we're on section 3. So energy healing for others is section 3. So the first exercise there is see and feel the edge of the inner aura on somebody else. And that is lesson 17. A quick look at lesson 17. Okay, that's missed out lesson. So there isn't an exercise for lesson 16. It's just informational about the different methods. So 17 is the aura. So the exercise is see and feel the edge of the inner aura on somebody else, lesson 17. And again, that one is just until achieved, really, because it's just a sensitivity exercise. It's an interest exercise. It's interesting to know and it's useful to know. But other than that, you can move on to more interesting things. And the next exercise is called Golden Energy Refresh, lesson 18. So lesson 18 is the energy body. So we teach a few different things in that lesson about the energy body. And the main one is this golden energy refresh, where you're removing all the negative energy in their energy body and you're replacing it with clean, clear, fresh golden energy. So there we put 5 applications. And the reason is because it probably only takes about 5 times to get the hang of it, I should think. And it's also part of an exercise further down the line as well. Okay, next one is feel and see the chakras on somebody else. That's lesson 19. If you see there's actually 3 exercises in lesson 19. So lesson 19 is chakra system. So this is when we go through the chakra system in detail. So feel and see the chakras on somebody else. This is when you're actually trying to feel the movement of energy flow going through the chakras. So you practice on somebody else, trying to feel the jet, which is coming out of the center of the chakra. And this is with your hand sensitivity. And then also trying to feel the suction around the edge of the chakra opening as well, where energy is actually getting sucked in. So this requires quite a high level of energy sensitivity on the hands. And it takes a good bit of practicing. So that one is until achieved, really. Because once you've achieved that, then it just becomes part of your normal sessions that you give to people anyway. The next one, still same lesson, is chakra clearing so chakra clearing, but we put in brackets on different people. So 5 sessions we've put in for that, but it's got to be on 5 different people so that you get to know that people are different, their chakras are different, and it makes it a whole new exercise almost every time, really. So the chakras clearing exercise itself is actually removing blockages from the chakras and taking those blockages into yourself and neutralizing the energy yourself. And then the third one for that lesson is unblock chakras on someone else by using white deblocking energy. This is a more sort of powerful chakra clearing technique. If it's not working with just the normal one, then you actually can visualize white energy going in, unblocking it and doing the same thing, because white is a very good energy for unblocking. Next one, meridians clearing session. Again, on different people. Again, 5 sessions. So meridians clearing session is lesson 20, and I think you can probably guess that is the meridian system, lesson 20. So the meridians clearing session is tracing the meridians with a jet of energy coming out of your hands. So you make sure there's a jet coming out of your hands, and then it's like almost combing. Actually, I shouldn't use the word combing, because other systems of energy healing use the word combing for something else. So it's just tracing the meridians down the body and trying to remove blockages that are gathering in the meridians. And sometimes you can actually sort of chase a blockage down a meridian. Okay, so meridians clearing session. So that's tracing the meridians and doing a whole healing session on the meridians. So you can spend a whole healing session just on meridians, tracing them all around the body and making sure they're all clear. You can actually do the same thing with a chakra system. You can spend a whole healing session on a chakra system, or you can do combinations of half chakra or half meridian, or you can do chakras one day and the other meridians in the next day. You know, you can mix and match how you like. And you can combine it with other healing sessions like the next one, material body. And again, we put different people, but we'll see. And here we've made that quite a lot more. So 5 sessions, but at least 30-minute sessions. So we haven't actually defined the session length for most of them, apart from that one, just to make sure that enough time is spent. So at least 5 30-minute sessions at least. And the material body healing is, of course, part of lesson 21, which is healing the material body. And that exercise is a full healing session to do with the material body. So we explain the whole process from start to finish, from preparing a visualization or mantra as a programming tool, preparing it before the healing session and knowing what you're going to visualize at the time, and then going through the whole healing session with the primer first of all. So we teach about what a primer is, to go in and unblock the way, and then the main bulk of the healing session, which is the programmed healing that you send in and you visualize the healing doing its job in the body, and then finishing with an ender section. An ender section is filling the body back up with energy, with golden energy. So we talk through the whole exercise of doing the material body healing. But then eventually, you can combine it with other things. You can combine the material body healing with chakras or meridians, or it depends how long you spend on everything, really. We also through these exercises remind people about non-intention healing, because this is all intention healing, mostly using hands. But now and then we sprinkle in a little reminder that people have a higher mind, and their higher mind may turn on non-intention healing. They don't have any control over it, but sometimes it happens. So we remind people all the way through the course, really, that can happen. And the more attention you give your higher mind, the more likely it is to start doing that. Okay, the next one, emotional energy healing, which is lesson 22, emotional energy healing. So this is the exercise where we're trying to generate love and then sending it on to somebody. Now, we give two examples of how to do this. One example is the method that is very prevalent already, and actors might use this method, for example, if they're trying to generate an emotion while they're acting or something. And this is just trying to use your memories to generate a feeling of love. So you can either think about somebody that you love dearly, or a pet that you love dearly, or even a location that you love dearly, and you try and bring up, or in the past where you've felt a strong emotion of love in the past, you try and bring that memory back up and try and generate that feeling of love within yourself. You've got to actually feel that love before you can actually send it on. So that's one method. And then and we talk through the whole method of sending it as well. And then the second method is using the universal light exercise. So this encourages people to try and get unconditional love through the 9th chakra and feel that. And we use the color as well. So in both examples, we use electric blue. that deep electric blue color that we try and get people to visualize. When they start feeling that love, they're visualizing that color, and then they're transferring that color to people. Okay, so that's emotional energy healing, and that's lesson 22. And we've put 7 applications in there. And that's it, that's on the spreadsheet. Although I think, and for some reason no, there are some more to put in there. I don't know why. Self-protection should be in there, but I've missed that out. So I need to go back and finish that off, unfortunately. So self-protection, there is a couple of exercises in there, and it's all about chakra cords. It's about closing chakra cords and managing chakra cords. So I'll put that in there. And I haven't put in a exercise for the silent revolution, but maybe I should. Maybe we should have an exercise in there for the silent revolution. Right, so moving on, just at the end of that spreadsheet, I've just put this down here just as a reminder that there's different sending methods: hands healing, proximity method, and distance healing. And there's no extra exercises for that. But just to remind people that really what we're looking for in this course is around 80% hands healing, maybe 10% proximity healing, and maybe 10% distance healing. So maybe just sprinkle in a little bit of the other methods throughout the course is really all we're saying. So once those exercises are done, you can write the word completed in there if you like, and there's any notes that you can put in there as well. So to finish up, going to the second tab, just to remind you, there's a second tab on the bottom, and that is log for the actual log. So that's just got the exercises listed, and then there's just a space to write your note, to write, when you've completed something, basically, when you've done something. And there's 52 cells in there, and you can have one for each week if you want, or again, like I was saying, you can just change the dates and do whatever you want there, really. So there's some examples that I've put in there of just something you can write in there. That's for the golden energy healing, golden energy seeing exercise, golden energy yogic breathing once a week. You could just write done, or whatever you want, just examples basically. Now, eventually, if by the way, if you want to use a paper diary, then that's up to you as well, of course. So if you want to use an actual diary and write it down in a paper journal or diary, then it's up to you. You just need to write the word completed in the other tab. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Any questions about that? Yeah, good question. So technically speaking, it's for the second year of the course, which is September to September. So technically you could say that the second year is this September through to September 27. However, it's just a year's exercise. So if you want to start straight away, then you can. And you just write it in your logbook, or write the dates if you want. So it's completely up to you, really. But you've got until September 27 to actually complete it, basically. And yeah, anybody who has the qualification of the fast track, this will be part of that qualification. So golden energy healing is part of the fast track qualification, and anybody that is going to be practicing healer in network healers will be covered under our insurance. Yes. So it's in classroom in here in the normal lesson. So if we go to lesson 32, it's in there. So you'll have all the video lesson, the course notes. So the PDF's in there already, and you can open it from there. And the assignment is in there. So basically, the instructions of the assignment is in there. The time frame is in there as well, and also you've got the spreadsheet there. So when you basically, this is set. And it's the first time we're using this in this way, by the way, but it's got a function here that if you click on that, then it will start a new spreadsheet for you. So basically you'll be able to open that spreadsheet and have the same one every time, and you'll be able to just go in there and it will be your spreadsheet. It'll be like one of the other assignments, basically. Yes. Although because we are still learning how to use Google Classroom, and it does have a few bugs here and there. So we have put in here, look, here, please Please periodically back your work up by downloading the spreadsheet and keeping it in your own records. So every few months or something, or however often you want, just download it and just keep it somewhere, just so you've got it backed up. And that's just normal sort of computer housekeeping, isn't it? Just in case something happens and it gets lost or something, because we don't want to lose that amount of records, do we? So as we're talking about it, why don't we just carry on a little bit and talk about the next few months. Now, the picture is still emerging a little bit, so I haven't got a full detailed schedule, but we can know approximately what we're doing, I think. So these theory lessons are carrying on until mid-July, and then mid-July we could say we're breaking for the summer, kind of, but really we'll have that time after from July to September. We'll have that time for one, tidying up. So making sure that the final exam is being completed, making sure everyone's got all their coursework, assignments and everything completed. It's like a rounding up before September starts. And also spending that time to prepare for the hub, basically for the Network Healers hub that we're going to form out of this course. And then we'll probably start the hub for real in September, I should think. And it also goes along with the research project as well. So we're already in communication with the university, Marjon University. We're going to start there. And we're hoping to get all the documents and everything in place over the next couple of months, really. But we'll probably say that there's a start date in September for the research project. That gives us a bit of time over the summer to finalize all the procedures and the documents and get participants as well, because might take a little bit of time to recruit participants for the research project. I don't know how quickly or slowly that will happen, to be honest, because we haven't done it before. So we'll see. I'm guessing it will probably get drip fed with participants. I can't imagine that suddenly we'll have 50 participants. That's just not kind of how it works. But looking to kick off in September around the same time that we're starting the healing. That makes sense? Any questions? Awesome. Well, I think we should probably leave it there. We didn't do any self-healing, but that's all right. It's all as it's meant to be. We've still got plenty of time to do self-healing techniques, because the lessons from now on are quite short ones, I would say. Probably no more than an hour's theory for each one. So we'll probably have a good hour or so, 45 minutes to an hour or so out of every lesson from now on to do some self-healing techniques. All right, well, there we are. Awesome. Well, we'll see you next week, where we are talking about intuition, the journey of intuition. Bye, and have a good week. See you soon.